We are again, we are again meeting, and you have discussed, as Manish sir have said, that you have discussed about the population and sample. And as I have said in the morning, I have one session now and one session tomorrow morning from 8 to 9. So I am just saying my plan, how I plan to proceed. Now, these two sessions are dedicated for research design. The basics of research design had been discussed.
Dr. Majumdar, before you start, just to let you know that I will absolutely have to jump off at the top of the hour, which is 3:30 my time, because I've got a meeting scheduled after that. Just letting you know well in advance, so that I don't break the flow if you're still continuing then.
Sure. Okay. So we will be discussing about the basic concepts of research design, which is very important to make any research successful. I have posted a discussion forum also, and I've got 3 replies from 3 of you. Mrs. Ritu Ghosh have replied just an hour before, and I've got reply from Mr. Anjan, I guess, and Mrs. Manisha. I've got. I request all of you to get involved in that so that we can discuss and we can make it more interesting. I'm just trying to, Madam, please enable my screen sharing. Rumna ma'am. Hello, Rumna ma'am.
Yes, now it's all right.
Okay, I'm just, yes, it's all right. It's all right. Thank you, ma'am.
Because that time I had done it, but you
okay.
right.
Right. My screen is visible, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yeah, it's visible. It's visible.
Okay. So we will start the same way we have started in the morning. We will start with a small interactive question, right? So I'm pasting it in the chat box. I request all of you to respond. What are the problems which are faced by a researcher? What do you think? You need to give 2 words, like in the morning, while designing any research. What do you think?
We have to give it in Mendy only, right?
Yeah. If you click on that link, you will get the space. There only you need to give. Okay, literature review, feedback, sampling, research problem, sample number, conceptual framework. My God, you are giving all the technical jargons. Research problem. Okay.
Sir, I've not got the links. Sir, you just.
Shall I paste it once more? The chat box?
Yeah.
Mr. Snehashish and Mr. Ravi, if you can kindly respond in the...
Yeah, that's why I asked you the link, sir. That's why I asked you
please.
the link.
Sure. No issue. So I've got 14 responses, and still now sampling got the biggest number of votes. The second vote goes to conceptual framework. Very good. The third vote goes to research problem. So these are the 3 most important words till now. I've got 17 responses. Okay, sampling, conceptual framework, research problem. And there are so many others, but these are the 3 most important keywords as per your responses. I have got 19 responses. Fine, 21. Fine. So it's fine. So if you see my slide, you will find that there are so many responses which I have got, but these are the three most important words which came out from your responses. One is sampling. The second most important is conceptual framework. The third most important is research problem. Now, I don't know why sampling came. Maybe you have done the population and sampling class just before this session. But as far as my understanding goes, I think research problem is a very important parameter, and conceptual framework is also a very important parameter, which actually plays the same level of degree of importance with respect to having have a successful research. If you go to the discussion forum also in Swadhyay, I have asked a question related to this only, that how research design will help to go for having a good research. So can you see my slide? So I hope you have gone through the contents, whatever I have uploaded. I will just go for a very quick recap of what research design is all about, how it will help to solve the problems which you have mentioned, that is about conceptual framework, as well as about research problem, as well as some part of sampling, and how a strong research design will help to be derived with a perfect output with respect to the research, right? So when we talk about research design, it's in a very, very, very simple sense. It says the overall strategy for doing a research. Now, strategy is a very big word with a heavy word, but it is basically the structure by which you will start and you will end. That means you will be starting from the source. That means your problem identification, and you will end on getting the final solution for the problem. Research design specifically means this total path work. You are following 1, 2, 3, 4. There can be many steps. But what are the steps which you will be following with respect to your research? That needs to be mentioned in case of research design. So before going further, I just want to clarify one thing to all of you, that there are various standard research design processes which are being used, but everyone's research have an unique research design concept. That means, say for example, you go to the market and you want to do some primary data collection using some tools, maybe a Google form. But how the Google form will be designed, it depends on your topic. Say for example, you are trying to do a research on consumer behavior with respect to mobile network connection. Your items, your factors, all those things will be something. And if you want to study that what is the impact of COVID on the social well-being of people, your items will be changing. But in both the cases, you can use the questionnaire as a medium or as a tool to collect primary data from the market. So for these two different research projects, the research design will be different, because in case of COVID, your items will be different. In case of the mobile network, your items will be different. Also, when we talk about research design, if we just go through this next step, it talks about multiple components. That means it tries to integrate and keep together various components which are related to the research or study in a coherent and logical way. It is very, very, very important. Say for example, when you talk about knowing that what is your interest area, and you have thought of that, okay, my interest area is marketing. Now, when you talk about my interest area is marketing, marketing is an ocean. Then you search in Google, then you search in multiple sources, and you find out that, okay, I want to do a study on consumer behavior. Now, after going into merging to consumer behavior, you will search more, using Google Scholar or any other tool, and try to find out in what areas of consumer behavior less research have happened. So what you are doing, you are going through various steps, that is components. These are the various components, but that should be arranged in a logical way, logical as well as rational way. Very important. If you just say that, okay, I want to do a study on consumer behavior with respect to mobile segmentation in Jharkhand, you cannot do that without doing a beforehand study to find out what are the researches which have happened. Then your research design is incorrect because you have not studied anything, you have not went through any type of literature, and you have decided that, okay, I will study with this. Then your research design is incorrect, because you need to study, for doing any study, that the persons who have done research in that domain, you need to study their papers, you need to study their research articles, you need to study their books, you need to study their thesis, and try to find out whatever they have not studied, which in technical term of PhD, we called it as a research gap. You will get to know about this research gap term in multiple sessions. The research gap terms, in very, very simple sense, how I understand as a person, as a researcher, is research gap can be defined as something which others have not done in a specific area. Area means, I'm not talking about geographical area. Area means study area. Area means domain. So say, for example, if I say that I have searched multiple literatures and I have not found out any person studying consumer behavior with respect to X type of product in Jharkhand market, that is not a research gap. I need to go much ahead from this. I need to go much deeper than this to find out what are the variables they have studied. Then that will be research gap. When I will be discussing tomorrow morning about my research, how I went through, it will be all the more clear that how deeply we need to go inside the problem to find out what are the gaps which are existing. Because please understand what I was mentioning in the morning also, please don't be so much tensed about the methodology. This 1 year before registration is very, 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 very important for identifying the correct research area, that means the domain, and try to correct the area where less type of research, less amount of research have happened. Because this is a domain finalization stage. Once you will be finalizing the domain, after this, you can go for developing your methodology, you can go for using multiple tools, but ultimately at the end of the day, you cannot change your topic. So we need to be very, very conscious in deciding on the topic, where definitely university will help, your respective supervisors will be helping you to find out a specific research gap, that okay, this is an area in which I will be working. And please remember, research gap will be very, 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 very minute in nature. It can be 3-4 variables which have not been studied. That will be research gap. So research design helps to go for deciding on these research gaps, as well as how you can proceed with the research in future. So if you see the third point, what I mentioned here is, it constitutes the blueprint or the framework for collection, measurement, analysis, and ultimately deriving the conclusions for your research. So this is a framework which actually needs to be followed from the source, where from you are starting, and ending on to the destination. So this is in very, very simple sense what research design is all about. Any doubt till now?
Yes.
Yeah, please.
Yes. So as I understand, so research design is basically a gap in the literature related to my topic or the relevant topic.
No. Research design is the process to identify the gap. Research design is the process to do your research.
Okay, let's stick to first to the gap. So
yes,
we do a literature review to find the gap.
Yes.
Also, right? So,
Yes.
you, as you mentioned, that the research design is to identify the gap. So it's basically the review of the literature only, right?
No. I have said research design is the process in which gap identification is a component. Research design does not only help you to identify the gaps. Gap identification is a step which you need to follow to have a proper research. So research gap identification is a component of the total research design. Am I clear now?
Yeah, understood. The first point is understood.
Yeah.
Now we will be discussing subsequent points of the research design.
Yes. We will be discussing in details. We will be discussing in details all these factors.
Yeah.
Any other thing?
And sir, to have a proper research design, which is a kind of a framework, we should be very clear with the research problem. Am I correct in saying that?
100%, 500% correct.
Okay. Yeah.
It is absolutely correct.
Okay.
Dr. Majumdar.
Yes.
Can we say that research design is basically the first page to the last page of the entire thesis and its pathways?
Yes. Great. Definitely.
Can we say like that?
Yes, definitely you can say that like that.
Okay.
So shall I proceed?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes.
So when we talk about, if you see this slide, as per the various research methodology framework, there are these three types of research designs which are most popular. I am not saying that these are most logical, but I am saying these are most popular. That means most number of researchers use these types of research design concepts. There are so many other. If you go through the contents which I have uploaded in Swadhyay, you will find there are so many other. But I will be mentioning here in my session about these three types of research design which are most popular, most impactful, as well as most easy to implement with respect to social sciences research. Because when we talk about research design, it is not only applicable for social sciences research, it is applicable for physical sciences, it is applicable for biosciences, it is applicable for geography, it is applicable for so many other domains, medical sciences. But our discussion will be focused to social sciences because we are all in the domain of management. Management is a part of social sciences. So these are the three research designs, sorry, which are most popular and gets implemented in case of social sciences research. I will start with descriptive, then I will go with exploratory, then I will go with causal. Now, when you talk about descriptive research, as the name says, it says describing the total research problem. That means whatever problem you will identify, you will describe in details. So if you see the uses, this thing, describe segment characteristics, estimate proportion of people who are behaving in a specific way, make specific predictions. In these types of domains, you can use descriptive research. Please remember, in case of social sciences, normally we go for answering specific research questions. As I was discussing a few minutes back about research gap will lead to research questions. And those research questions say that what I need to achieve after completing the research. So descriptive research design is a very easy tool and most popular tool to implement to achieve these types of specific questions. In case of descriptive research, to give you an example, if you want to find out what are the factors which influence any consumer's behavior for buying mobile phones, there will be so many standard factors which we all know. It can be the mobile memory, it can be the processor, it can be the screen size, it can be the brand, it can be the size of the mobile, it can be the operating system, although we are having Android and Apple only nowadays, but maybe the operating system. So these are very specific factors. So if you do a study like this, your objective will be to find out maybe which factor influence people to buy a specific brand of mobile phone. So here we are knowing that, okay, we will be identifying a single factor which is having the most important role in influencing someone to go for deciding which brand a person will select. So this is very specific. Likewise, if you talk about, say, some different type of research about, say, you want to find out that in an organization, if I go for some HR examples, in an organization, you are getting attrition, and all the organization goes for study to find out what are the attrition reasons and try to minimize that, right? So when you talk about attrition, there are some standard factors which influence attrition, which we all know. And we can go for literature review and we will be knowing. So therefore, if you do this study, your objective will be to find out, okay, which is the most important factor which actually influence attrition. Maybe the salary, maybe the job security, maybe the work-life balance, maybe anything. So this means that here it is very, very, very specific problems we are trying to solve. And for that, descriptive research is the solution. In case of social sciences, most of you will be working, the research design will be, in a general sense, will be descriptive in nature, because you will be describing and you will be trying to solve some specific research questions. That means this factor influencing the other factor. You have given the response of conceptual framework in the Mentimeter poll. Now, when you talk about a conceptual framework, it basically talks about that this variable will be influencing the other variable. That is basically a conceptual framework. So they are very, very specific. So in case of social sciences, descriptive research is a very important, easy to implement and popular tool. The second type of tool or research design, what I will discuss here, is exploratory research. Now, as the word says, explore, so you are trying to explore something new. Now, new means, I hope all of you understand the difference between invention and discovery. I hope all of you understand the difference between invention and discovery.
Yeah, yeah, sure.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
So you can say exploratory research will try to answer your invention, not discovery. That means you have found out, say after your research, that okay, a new model is being generated. That is a new thing totally. For that you need to explore and try to find out how it happens. In case of descriptive research, questionnaire, using a questionnaire, using Google Form or any other tool is the most important and most easy tool to implement, because you will have a questionnaire, you will have so many questions there, you will distribute that to your respondents will respond, and accordingly you will get some responses, you will analyze using some statistical tools and interpret and ultimately get some findings. That is one way, that is descriptive. But say for example, you want to find out
one question, sir, one doubt I have.
Just let me complete for 2 minutes, please.
Okay.
Please, just for 2 to 3 minutes, let me complete exploratory, then I'm coming back to your question. So, in case of this descriptive, it is this thing. Now, in case of exploratory, what you can do is that, okay, I know that I'm referring my research area. My research area was on green products consumer behavior. Green means organic product. In my research area, there were so many variables which I have studied, but I have studied one new variable which was not being studied earlier, which was the taste of green food products, taste, how tasty it is. So that for finding out how taste influence green products consumer behavior, I have used exploratory research. But for all the other parts, that means I had around 45 questions, so many items, I have got some responses. For that, we get as I have used descriptive research. So in my research problem or my research thesis, it was a combination of both descriptive and exploratory. For most of you, it will be a combination of descriptive and exploratory. You cannot achieve good solutions for problems with respect to only descriptive or only exploratory. You need to use a combination. For some part, you will be using descriptive. For some part, you will be using exploratory research. If you see the tools which can be used, it can be literature search, and this is very, very important, which is interviews, focus groups, projective tests. These are all. This means these are all not defined tools. In case of questionnaire, I request to mute your mics. Somebody, mic is not muted, I guess. Yeah, thank you. So in case of in case of interviews, in case of focus group discussions, you are not defining your respondents that, okay, these are the questions for which you need to give an answer. You are asking someone and then accordingly they are responding. So you are giving an option to your respondents that, okay, whatever you feel like, you respond accordingly. And if you respond accordingly, definitely I will take care of all those observations. Always it is difficult as a researcher to analyze exploratory research content, because in case of interviews and focus groups where you are not defining the parameters, say you have a sample size of 100 and you are taking responses from 100 persons, there is always a possibility that 100 persons will give 100 different responses for the single question. But in case of descriptive, you are trying to minimize that option and you are giving 5 options or 7 options. You are saying that your respondents that, okay, you respond to these specific questions, you respond to these specific items. So in case of descriptive, it is all the more easy to analyze the data and derive some conclusions. You apply the statistical tools here in case of descriptive research very much. But in case of exploratory, you need to use your judgment. You need to use your own understanding of the concept as well as the subject or your research to analyze whatever output you are getting from the interviews. This is the basic difference between descriptive research and exploratory research. To balance this, any good researcher uses a combination of this. If your research is 100% exploratory, it becomes all the more difficult to analyze. If your research is 100% descriptive, it becomes all the more biased research. So to minimize the aspect of biasness and also to minimize the aspect of the general aspect of the research, you use a combination approach of descriptive as well as exploratory research, right?
Majumdar, just one confusion.
Yes. Yeah, I'm answering all the questions. I will go to causal research after that. Now, any questions up till now? Yes.
Just one. I think I missed a bit of your lecture there, so that's the reason. Did you say exploratory research leads to higher bias as compared to a pure play descriptive research? Or
no. It's reverse. It's reverse. Descriptive research goes for biasness. Exploratory research does not go for biasness.
Got it. Sorry, I got it.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Any other question? I was getting a question. Yeah, please.
If I can ask one question, Dr. Majumdar.
Please,
you gave an example of your thesis where you found from the literature certain set of variables that were influencing the consumer behavior of green products. Okay. Right. Now you said that to add to the body of knowledge, you went to the exploratory research method and found out that taste is another important variable which is not studied in the literature, right?
Great. Yes.
Now my question is, how did you confirm that this taste is something which is going to be my new variable? Is it through focus group or because it is very difficult, right? It's an ocean of so many variables.
Yes. I will just say 2 lines to this answer, because I will discuss in details in my tomorrow's session about how I ended up. It was basically, I have conducted multiple focus group interviews with respondents as well as the various organizations who were selling green products those days. My response area, my research area was Kolkata and 4 districts around Kolkata in West Bengal, right? One is Hooghly, one is Howrah, one is North 24 Parganas, and one is South 24 Parganas. Now, all those areas, I had a tie-up with multiple NGOs. With the help of my guide, I could get in contact with them. And there were so many NGOs who were promoting the concept of green without a brand. There, I could find out by interacting with them, the villagers as well as the NGOs, that taste was a very important factor. Once I got the factor, then I have tested it in my research using the questionnaire.
Okay, yeah, got you. Perfect.
Okay.
Thank you. Thanks.
Okay. Any other questions?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Sir, is exploratory research also a kind of ex post facto research?
Yes, surely.
Okay.
Surely.
Okay, so can we say that? Yes. So can we say that in social sciences, the type of research and the type of research design are basically the same thing?
I will again say no, because which I have said at the starting of my class, these are the approaches which you are using, descriptive, exploratory. But your research design concept will be dependent on you. How you will analyze, how much descriptive you will be doing, how much exploratory you will be doing, whether you will be doing a combination of descriptive or exploratory, whether you will be doing only exploratory or only descriptive, it depends on you as a researcher. That's the reason why, although there will be similarity, but the specific difference will be there for each and every research project.
Dr. Majumdar, I have a question.
Yes.
In exploratory research, you have mentioned that there is a development of hypothesis.
Yes.
Wherein is uses. In descriptive research, when we are also doing, where it is this development of hypothesis, can it also take place over here? Because here also we can develop certain hypotheses.
We can definitely do that, but normally hypotheses are assumptions, right? I assume something and I create a hypothesis, right? And when we talk about a null hypothesis, it is against our assumption and the alternative is whatever as our assumption. And we test using some descriptive research. So say for example, if I say the mobile phone example which I was giving, say for example, if I am saying that the camera clarity does not influence consumer satisfaction for mobile phone. This is also a hypothesis, null hypothesis.
Yes.
Right? But here there is no concept of exploration. Why? Because this camera capacity or camera quality is already an existing variable.
Yeah.
But
so the alternate hypothesis must be true if this is.
Yes. Must be true. We need to find out by doing the research.
Yeah.
So here also that can be there. But in case of exploratory research, the hypothesis will be more stronger in nature. The example which I was giving from my research, if I talk about test, since test was not tested earlier, test of the green food product, it was a strong hypothesis. But when I was talking about environmental consciousness, how it influenced the consumer's behavior towards green food products, it was being tested. And I have also tested. So for that, it is a descriptive. For test, it was an exploratory. So it's a combination.
Dr.
Yeah.
So now, in exploratory research, what is by analysis of select cases?
Analysis will be.
And also, if you can just briefly tell about projective test and and also little bit on true panel and omnibus panel.
Yes. When you talk about this exploratory and interview. Hello? Yes?
Yeah. Asking a question, but the voice was not going through. So
okay.
Sorry,
Yeah. So in case of interviews, projective tests, ethnographic analysis, experience surveys, all these exploratory, nowadays, thanks to software, we have software to analyze interviews also, right? We have one scholar, Mr. Mohammad Hashmatur Rahman, he's working. He will be completing his thesis very soon. He have used a software called as NVivo, which basically helps researcher to analyze the interviews. That means, I want to do some finance study, and I have approached the CFOs of the organization, and I have taken an interview of 2 hours or so based upon open-ended questions. It was very difficult earlier to analyze whatever he have said. NVivo helps you to convert your interviews to some standard format spreadsheet or Excel sheet where you get some responses, some commonality, and accordingly it will help you to analyze. But earlier it was all the more difficult. Nowadays we are having softwares. That's the reason why I've said exploratory research in focus groups, in interviews, in all those techniques, it is very, very tedious job to analyze each and every response. When we talk about an interview, say for example, you are giving a feedback to the faculty sessions, and there is a one open-ended question where you are giving some responses. All of you are giving definitely some responses. So the person who will be analyzing, for him, for the other, whatever questions were there, around 5, 6 or whatever, very good or something parameter, it is very easy to analyze because there are 3 items only. But for that open-ended question, say if you are giving response for this session, there are 22 responses. I need to get the commonality. Now, if it is a 22 response, it is very easy to get the commonality. But if I am having 200 respondents, it is all the more difficult. For that, software will help us to find out the commonality. So what happens is that initially, I will discuss this again in tomorrow's in my tomorrow's session, that initial study should start with focus group and interview someone. Ultimately, it will lead to descriptive research. That means when you are trying to find out that whatever is not being done, one way is to go for studying literature. One way is to go for searching literature. The other way is to interact with people who are into the total aspect of field. That will help us to understand how you can voice not. Anybody having a problem? So for that aspect, it is all the more important that you need to define the research properly. Now, for example, in case of sample survey, true panel, all these are basically, all these tools are using structured questionnaires with defined questions and defined options, which will help to ultimately achieve your desired research questions. So it is very easy comparatively to analyze the descriptive research study as compared to exploratory research studies.
Thank you.
Right? Yeah. So now let me go for this experience survey is very, very important for most of you, since you are experienced. As VC said, I've earlier said, also he have definitely said during your interviews, if you take a topic from your own working domain, it is very, very, very easy. One of my scholars had been awarded PhD just 2 months back, Mr. Ajitav Dubey. His work was on telecom, and he had been working in the telecom sector since last 20 years. So for his research, he's an expert. So when his Viva happened, whatever had been asked from telecom, he could answer because he's an expert in telecom. Maybe he have done research and research process where we have guided as a university. But for that, this experience is your core competency, where no supervisor is as experienced like you in your domain. So if you take a research area from your own domain, it is very, very, very easy to achieve these things, and it will be very easy for you to defend the questions wherever you will face. When you go for seminars, when you go for research proposal, defending research proposals and all the other things, it is very, very easy for you, right? So the last research type of thing which I will be talking about is a causal research, which normally was not being so much implemented earlier in case of social sciences. it was basically being used in case of life sciences, physical sciences, because if you see the types, it talks about laboratory experiments and it also talks about field experiments. In case of social sciences, doing experiment is a very, very, very difficult task, because what happens is that when you use a questionnaire and you get a response, it's a perceptual study, because you are trying to get the perception of the persons. But in case of interviews also, you are asking an interviewee some questions, he is trying to recollect some responses and accordingly trying to respond to your questions. So in both the cases, just 1 minute, in both the cases, both descriptive and exploratory, it is very, very important that you are making them somewhat biased. But it is very, very difficult to go for experiments, because experiment means you are trying to go for hands-on, and hands-on is very difficult to do in case of social sciences research. But nowadays we are going for some experimental research in case of social sciences research also, right? Just to give you an example, I will again refer to my research because I am more confident on that domain. I was thankful to my guides because who have motivated me to go for some experiments, small experiments in my research. I'm just saying an example. What I have done in my research was, say for example, I was trying to find out that whether when you talk about green product, it is basically green product is a status symbol. Nowadays at 2020, people are more conscious. My data collection survey period was between 2013 to 2015. That time, people were not so much conscious. So it was something like a status symbol of using green products. I have done a basic simple study in 5 to 6 Spencer's showroom in Kolkata, that in their washrooms, I have kept 2 liquid hand washes. One hand wash bottle was green in color, the other one was white in color. And I have intentionally reversed the hand washes. In the white bottle, organic or green hand wash was there, and vice versa. The specifications were mentioned in the bottle that it is not organic, it is organic. In spite of that, we have used some students to get the observation of the people in a time span of around 15 days. And we found that the green color influenced someone to decide whether the product is green or not. The respondents never went to read the specification in the product portfolio, and they have used it is green, because after they were using the soaps, there was a small, I should not say interview, there was a small 1 or 2 questions which were being asked to find out why he have used that specific, the white bottle or the green bottle. And it found out that green color influenced the mindset for going for any type of green organic product. So that's the experiment which I have done in my research, which many of you can do in your research, because nowadays doing experiments is becoming a trend also. And if you do small experiments, small experiments in your research conceptual framework will be very, very strong, because you are doing on your own. And field experiments, these are all field experiments. These are not laboratory experiments, because this is not a laboratory, this is a field. Because the washroom which was there in the shopping malls, it was basically, I have taken permission from the Spencers and all those things with the help of my guide, and I got through there. So that's a laboratory, that's a causal research. So cause and effect relationship should be there. There will be a cause and there will be an effect. So social sciences, what I have said, it is slowly using these types of causal research design approach also nowadays with respect to the various research problems, right? I will take, maybe some of you are having questions, but I will take the questions after going through this slide. I'm having only 2 slides to discuss. I'm having not much slides. So now I will discuss about variables, which is a very easy concept, which we all know. But in case of research, we need to be very conscious in defining the variables. And also when you will be going for literature review, you need to find out the variables, because that will help you to decide on what variables you should study, what variables you should not study. For my research, when I talked about test, although I have got responses from some NGOs by doing focus group and other things, but also I have searched from the literature that, okay, test was not being tested. Test of the green food product was not being tested. So these two approaches helped me to find out that, okay, test will be a new variable, which I could study. So when you talk about variables, you will find in the Swadhyay material, whatever had been uploaded, you will find so many types of variables I have mentioned. Please go through those. If you have any doubt, you can come back to me. I will be defining these three variables: independent, dependent, and controlled, because this will ultimately help to go for the aspect of explaining any research. When you talk about independent, you can see my slide. The one thing you change, limit to only one in an experiment. Now we can go for multiple, because in case of sciences we limit to one, but in case of social sciences we can go for multiple. But the variable which we change or which we can change is called as independent variable. And the variable which we cannot change becomes the dependent variable. So in that case, when we talk about independent variable, you are deciding the independent variable. And when we talk about a dependent variable, the reactions of the independent variable are ultimately influencing the dependent variable. So if you see the example which had been given, the liquid used to water each plant is an independent variable. The height or health of the plant is dependent on how much water you are given. So this, you can give more water, you can give less water. So that means you can control, you can change the variable. You can give some other foodstuffs to the plant and not give any water. It depends on you. But based upon the input which you will be giving, maybe by way of water or by way of food, the height or health of the plant will be improving. You cannot directly change the height or health of the plant. It is impossible. And that's the reason why we call this height or health in this example as the dependent variable, and the liquid which we use as the independent variable. To give an example from social science, the example which I had given a bit earlier about that your memory capacity of the mobile will influence consumer behavior. Consumer behavior is a dependent variable, and mobile data storage is an independent variable. Because in case of mobile data storage, you can skip this variable and you can see that no. Consumers' behavior towards a mobile phone will be more influenced by the aspect of the processor.
Sir, we cannot, sir, we could not hear. We could not hear.
Am I audible? Hello?
Professor Majumdar, can you please repeat again? We could not hear.
Yes. Okay, I will repeat. I will definitely repeat. Yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yeah.
You're audible.
Yeah. Okay, I'm so sorry.
Yes, we can.
Disconnected. Maybe I got disconnected. I'm so sorry. In case of this example of consumer behavior for mobile phone, consumer behavior is the dependent variable. And if I want to find out how much a consumer behave, how good a consumer behave, maybe we talk about the consumer satisfaction. That is a dependent variable. And the mobile phone's data storage, that means the mobile phone's storage is the independent variable. If I think as a researcher, I will try to find out that how much storage a mobile phone should have so that a consumer will be very much satisfied using that mobile phone. So here the mobile phone storage is the independent variable and the consumer satisfaction is the dependent variable. I may also think that, okay, I will not try to find out a relationship between the mobile storage as well as consumer satisfaction. I may go for finding out the relationship between the processor of the mobile phone and the consumer satisfaction. So I am changing the independent variable as per my understanding, as per the researcher's understanding. But the dependent variable is dependent on whatever independent variable I am using. I can use a combination of multiple variables, which most of you will be using in your research, that you will be using a combination of multiple variables. You will be using mobile phone processor, camera, the operating system, data storage, battery life. So there are 5 independent variables in this example. The ultimate dependent variable is consumer satisfaction. So this ultimately tries to find out a relationship between the independent and its role or influence on the dependent variable. It seems very easy, but we need to be very, very conscious in deciding on what type of variable we will be selecting as a dependent and what type of variable we will be selecting as an independent in our research area. The third variable is, I'm so sorry, the controlled variable. Now, if I go back to this example of tree or plant, if you see everything you want to remain constant and unchanging during the experiment or the research is called as controlled variables. Example, type of plant used, the size of the pot, the amount of liquid, soil type, etc. That means these types of things you will be keeping constant all throughout your research and all throughout your experiment. And you will try to find out how the level of water, whatever you have given, is impacting the health of the plant. In this experiment, you are keeping this pot size, amount of liquid, soil type, all these as constant. You are not changing this. So since you are not changing this, we are calling it as a controlled variable because I, being a researcher, I am controlling all these variables and trying to find out the relationship between independent and dependent variable. So in case of social size, if I go through the same example, in case of these 5 parameters what I have used, in case of consumer satisfaction, I may keep brand as a control variable. I may keep 4G data capacity of the mobile phone as a control variable, because when we talk about pre-2016, when Jio didn't came to the Indian market, there was not so much of 4G, right? Those days 2G, 3G was there, and VoLTE was a new entrant in the market. But nowadays, if you talk about phones, it is smartphones, it is 4G enabled. So we can keep 4G or this VoLTE capacity about the network as a control variable in this type of research. So control variable basically means the type of the variables which we are keeping as constant all throughout my research area and research domain. Now, any questions? Please come with your questions.
Dr. Majumdar,
you
said that in the literature you have so many variables. I have to select the independent variables. How, on what basis? Say, for example, literature has got consumer behavior getting impacted for a mobile purchase. 10 variables are there. Is it a researcher's discretion to choose the number of independent variables?
Sure. It is researcher discretion how many independent variables you will be selecting. There is no rule for that.
Okay. So that
you can select 50 variables. You can select 5 variables. Okay. You can select 15 variables based upon how much research you want to do.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, answers my question. Thank you.
I had one question.
Yeah, please.
Now, what you said it was about independent variables, but for the dependent variables, it will depend on the specification. It is not. I mean, you can't have as many dependent variables as you want, or it will depend.
Normally, what happens is that normally to make the research design simple, you may go for one dependent variable. There is no concept that you cannot go for a multiple dependent variable, but for multiple dependent variable, your conceptual framework will be more complex, because when I'm talking about consumer behavior as a single variable, I'm keeping other variables as controlled or constant. It is easy that camera, how it is influencing, data capacity, how it is influencing. But if you have two dependent variables, it becomes difficult. But you can definitely do that. You can definitely do that. There is no rule that you cannot do that. You can have three dependent variables also, 2 to 3 dependent variables also, based upon your research domain.
Rajendra, can I ask a doubt? I've been trying.
Sure, please.
The other side for some reason. I don't know. Okay. This is regarding the previous slide. Actually, I've been trying for the last 15 minutes to ask this.
Yes. I'm going to the previous slide. Yes.
So, just wanted to have one clarity, like regarding the exploratory research and descriptive research. Is it wrong? Would it be wrong to say I'm just taking a lame topic for research? I say that the food taste of I'm doing research on the food taste of people in Maharashtra where they prefer more of chili. So that's a more sort of a close-ended sort of a research which I'm trying to do there. Descriptive will help. And if what sort of food does people in Maharashtra prefer to have from the streets, that would be more of an exploratory research. Basically, a more open-ended question is answered better by exploratory, and a more close-ended research question is answered more by descriptive. Am I right?
Right. You are totally right. But what happens is that if you go for this research, because there are, if you talk about the food chains in Maharashtra and all those places, there are a lot of researches which have taken place. So my suggestion will be, if anybody wants to take this as a serious research, my suggestion will be, whatever research domain you select, you go to Google to find out whatever had been studied. That will guide you to decide on your research design. It is not necessary that, you can decide something totally new. You can decide based upon others. The same way earlier researches will be helping you for going ahead with the variable identification. The same way earlier researches can help you also to find out the research design. So that will also help how much descriptive I should use and how much exploratory I should use in my research. Okay.
Professor, is it mandatory to have a controlled variable?
No. It is not mandatory, but it may be desired. What I have said, it's a general concept about research design. But how you implement research design, it depends on your research project. It is not mandatory. Nothing is mandatory, whatever I have said. These are all general concepts which can be used. It depends on you as well as your supervisor, under the guidance of your supervisor as well as the university. You will decide that, I will use this for my research. Okay.
I do have a question.
Please go ahead.
Yeah. So my question is that suppose I'm doing the research where I have considered a variable as independent variable, and the research literature, going through the research literature, maybe earlier scholars have conducted research on those topics, and quite a few things have been considered as dependent variable. Is it the selection of dependent and independent is based on the assumptions we are considering?
No, it's not assumption. What happens is that definitely there can be some exceptions where whatever variable you are talking about independent, others have talked about dependent, but normally 99% of the cases, the definition is more or less predefined. When I talk about this example of mobile phone, consumer satisfaction, nobody will say that it is an independent variable. Always people will say it is a dependent variable. And camera will always always people will say that, okay, it is an independent variable. But there can be exceptions. I'm not saying there will not be exceptions. If you go to foreign research papers specifically, and what we were discussing in Emerald, we talked about.
I have seen in quite a few papers. That's the reason why.
Yes. You can see, you may see. We can discuss offline also in those aspects, how we can decide on that, okay, this is this, and how, because whatever you decide, you need to defend that. So that's the thing which I have said at the initial slide, you need to be logical. So whatever is logical, it is acceptable. Nothing is incorrect in research design. Nothing is incorrect. It's just like an answer of a case study. In case of the answer of a case study, nothing is incorrect. You need to logically defend that. The same way here.
Dr. Majumdar, I have a question.
Yes.
Yeah. So you said that there is a dependent variable and there may be a set of independent variables. So maybe 1, 2, 3 for whatever that we decide.
Sure.
And we have. Now there is a control variable that we are talking about.
Yes.
Now the dependent variable, I am trying to find out that what is the kind of relationship this independent or the influence of these independent variables on the dependent variable. You want to measure that thing. In that case, if I am not able to control the other variables, that means which are not being considered, like the example that we have given, it might so happen that the watering of this plant that we are saying, which is as an independent variable, not exactly because of the watering, but for the other variables which are we are taking as control variable, it might have also influenced it. So how can I be sure that it is only because of this independent variable, the dependent variable is behaving like this?
Yes, good question. Now, to answer this, in case of experimental research, any experimental research, the answer or the accuracy of your independent variable influencing dependent variable will be 95%, 96%. In case of field research, questionnaire research, the correctness will be 80%, 85%, 84% at most. Because I'm just discussing a bit of statistics just to explain this. When you talk about statistical test application and we talk about hypothesis testing, we talk about a margin of error. And all hypothesis testing goes with a margin of error. And that error will be an integral part. We always say that, okay, my results are at a 95% level of confidence or 90% level of confidence. That means I'm 90% confident, 10% variation can be there. Likewise, in case of 95%, I'm 95% confident, 5% variation can be there. So you can never be sure, but you can be more or less sure.
Okay.
Right? So the statistics formula will apply because these variables are basically, it will help you to define the statistical test. So ultimately the relationship will be there later on. Okay.
Right. And these controlled variables in some books, is it referred as extraneous variables or these are
No. Extraneous means external.
Okay.
That means you remember like that E. Extraneous means external. That means to your example, if I explain that, say for example, you have considered 4 control variables, but you have not considered 5 control variables. You have missed those 5 control variables. That means they can influence also, which is actually impacting the error. That's an extraneous variable. External to your research framework or external to your experimental framework.
That means on which I do not have a control over it.
Not at all. You have not considered. You have not thought of.
Okay.
Dr. Majumdar.
Yes.
My question is on the topic which I have thought of working on. Great. And this is basically my question is that if I work in an area where, say, financial markets. Okay. Now, suppose I'm working on say stock prices or exchange rates. Now, lots of data or the market prices data are available. So given this data, which is all secondary data, what kind of research design I should go for? Should it be exploratory, descriptive?
I am not a finance guy, first of all, but whatever little I understand, I am just trying to explain your this thing. I'm just referring to one of our scholars who had worked on some price indexing or something with respect to some stock price indexing. His name is Saurabh Majumdar. You will find his thesis in our website also. You can download that and go through. What we have done, there is a CMI database.
Yes, there is.
CMI database or something like that, if I'm not wrong.
Yes,
no, that's right.
Yes, where from you can get the price variations, right? And he had then applied various statistical tools to find out the price projections or something. Now, in case of finance, what happens is that you cannot go for, say, for example, in finance, you cannot have a questionnaire and you went to some fund managers and you're asking some questions. That is not a finance. That is not a finance domain, right?
Exactly.
That is basically a marketing-oriented finance thing. Core finance will talk about these markets and all those things. For that, although in general sense we talk about as a secondary data, but these are not secondary data because you are getting from the CMI database the real-time data. Real-time data is a primary data for your research domain, and accordingly we'll analyze those and predict something based upon some models.
Okay. In fact, my dependence also is on CMI data only. So
okay, that's great. Definitely, you can go ahead. You can go through Mr. Majumdar's thesis, and we will definitely.
It's a Saurabh Majumdar, you said.
Saurabh Majumdar.
Right. Thanks a lot.
Yeah. Any other? I think I have overshoot the time. I'm so sorry. I have not.
Yes, sir. It's 8:20 already.
I'm so sorry. I will just end on with one small Mentimeter question. Right? I stopped sharing. I'm so sorry.
But we enjoyed actually.
Yeah, it was a good session. Very good session.
Really enjoyed.
Enjoyed, na? It was not boring, right?
Not at all.
Amazing session, Dr. Majumdar. Amazing.
Okay. Thank you.
Even the morning one.
Okay, thank you so much.
We have not disturbed you after 8 o'clock.
Thank you. I am going for this. I don't think we should go with I've created a small poll for what is an hypothesis, but we all know that hypothesis is an assumption. So let us, since we have overshoot the time, we have a small quiz to also do. So I am not going through this, what is an hypothesis. Tomorrow morning, what I will do, I will go through my total research. And since we have understood these concepts, I will go through the slides of my research, whatever I have used in my research in a very brief, that will be provided to you. You can go through that later on. For the quiz, I am sharing a Google form link to all of you. And please submit your answers.
Okay? It will be provided in the group?
No. The WhatsApp group?
No. I am providing now in the chat box, complete within 5 minutes. Very easy questions. 10 very easy questions.
Should we go to Menti? No.
No need to go to Menti. I am typing rather I am giving the URL in the chat box only. Okay.
Please.
Last put kar do.
I've given the link. It's a Google form link. Please respond to the quiz. Don't think much. Think less and answer.
It's not opening.
It's not opening? Anybody can open?
Yes, I am already filling up.
Okay.
It's working fine. Yeah.
Okay. So you may try once more.
Yeah, I'm trying another time.
Okay, please.
Sir, can you please give the link in the WhatsApp chat? This is not opening.
No. Please. Let us not go with the chat. Let us complete this here, ma'am. Please.
Shudipta sir, are you giving the link, because it's not opening for me from this device?
It's not opening?
No.
I'm again giving the link. I've got 5 persons have completed already. I think all of you are attempting. All of you can attempt.
Yeah.
It's working fine. No?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. It's working. No? Okay. Thank you.
If we have attempted, can we log off, Majumdar sir?
Yeah. If you are through Rumna ma'am feedback form, if you can just complete the feedback and you can log off surely. I'm so sorry I have extended by half an hour.
No issue, sir. It was an amazing session. Dr. Rumna ma'am, if you can share the link.
Actually, for the feedback, the link will be same. You need to select only the slide. So since you have the link, you can. Rumna ma'am,
yes.
Since I have overshoot the time, I'm so sorry.
Okay.
After completing the quiz and the feedback, they can leave, right, ma'am?
Yes.
Just a small thing, since I have done Mentimeter today morning, and maybe you didn't get time to hands-on to Mentimeter, you can try tonight, or maybe you can try in the weekend, and we will get back and we can have a discussion how to use it in a better sense, right? Nothing to worry.
Professor Majumdar, I am able to submit this Google form.
Okay, you have submitted. Okay,
yeah,
good.
Just now.
Good. I have got around 12 responses. Okay, good. Thank you for the response. Questions are fine, right? Questions are fine, right?
You have received mine, sir. Rajiv Ranjan.
Let me see. Rajiv Ranjan, I have received. Yes, I have received.
So questions were good. Very interesting.
Okay.
Thank you.
Sir, have you received mine?
Your name, please, sir.
Raja Ghosh.
Yes. Received. I have received from
feedback submitted.
Great.
Another brilliant session from Dr. Majumdar. So feedback submitted.
Thank you so much.
Arnab Chaudhary's submission you have got?
Arnab Chaudhary. Yes, I got.
Great. So thank you very much.
Yes.
Good night.
Good night, everybody. Good night, sir.
Good night.
Sir, answer from Manisha.
Yes, Manisha ma'am. I got you.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Snehashish Mukherjee, I have got. I have got from Saraj Kant.
You will not get from Simi because she has already left.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Simi ma'am have said, so she will give, right?
Dr. Majumdar,
thank you, sir. Good night.
you have received.
Good night. Good night.
Sir,
yes,
have you received mine? So Anjan Neogi?
Anjan Neogi, yes, I have received.
Sir, from Shubhanand, have you received?
Rajesh Ranjan, Rajesh Yadav, yes, I have received.
Thank you. From
Shubhendu Nandi?
Shubhendu Nandi, Shubhendu Upadhyay, right?
Yeah, good night. No, Dipendu Nandi.
Dipendu Nandi, yes, I have received.
Okay, Sudipta sir from Shubhanan.
Shubhanan, yes. Yes, you have completed earlier, right?
Yeah.
So you are at the top.
Zubair Iqbal.
Yes, received. Prabhat Kumar received.
So Joydeep Mukherjee have got it? Joydeep Mukherjee have got it?
Yes, sir.
From Kumar
Okay, thank you,
sir.
Thank you.
From Rumna ma'am, I'll bother you once again. Can you please share the link for the feedback?
So we'll log out.
Yes, if you completed the feedback, please log out. No issues.
Yeah, done. Thanks. Good night.
Good night.
Sir, from Kumar Rishi.
Sir, I have one question.
Please.
Excuse me, sir. Sir, when we are submitting the assignments on Swadhyay,
yes.
So do we need to write our name and enrollment number in the Word file also?
You may write, you may not write, because it's automatically coming from your ID only. So automatically it will be tracked.
Who asked for the feedback?
Ma'am, myself, Shubhanan.
Okay, sir.
Just go to IUJ PhD workshop.
Okay, fair.
Ravi Kumar Singh has sent me all today only.
Yeah. Okay, sure.
I request who are there to give me a reminder tomorrow morning. I have given an assignment. I have not explained that assignment. I forgot to explain since I have overshoot the time. Tomorrow morning, I will give 1 or 2 minutes to explain the assignment, whatever I have given, so that you can